Howdy, folks, and welcome to. My God, Paul.
I didn't even do anything.
I know. It's just, what the hell? Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 484 of the Dead Robot Society. I'm Paul E. Cooley, and joining me today is my good friend and erstwhile nemesis, Terry Mixon.
I have never been erstwhile, but I accept the challenge of being your nemesis.
Well,
what happened to your last nemesis? Wait a minute. How is this? Can you have more than one nemesis? Is that nemesi? How does this work?
Now, wait a minute. You are my nemesis on this show. On this show. Jake Bible is my nemesis in every facet of my life.
I'm pretty sure we've established firmly that you lost that fight.
I lost. How did I lose that fight?
When we had him on the last time, we were all in agreement that he trashed you. Don't you remember?
God, lies, complete and total lies. He's very quick-witted. I'm not. I am also, but I'm close to, about as close as you can get to being dim-witted and still function. So there we go.
That pretty much explains most of us, actually.
This goes back to the culture quote we had in the Patreon episode.
Basically, the way it works for us is, as writers, we fall into the category of, hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, exactly. And more so more so than ever. There we go. That's what I meant to say. So, what's up, man?
It's been busy. We had a family wedding this weekend, so my mother-in-law has been here for a week. That was a fun visit. And we just got her onto the airplane this afternoon, and she's on her way back to Tennessee. The contractors came in to do the last bit of sheetrock work on Monday, and they finished that up. But unfortunately, I have to do the painting. So all of the stuff from one of the other rooms is in my office, and I'm relocated down to my wife's office until I can get the upstairs hall and one of the other rooms painted and move stuff back into it.
So basically what you're telling me is you've been evicted out of your office. I
pretty much have. And so has Minnie. Minnie is very displeased with this.
Yeah, I'm thinking you should make Minnie happy because she looked like she's all right and everything, but she can be very demanding.
Mm-hmm. She's my kitty muse, and she's very demanding. Also, we moved Romeo downstairs, and he is in the living room in a large crate so that he is being exposed to all the other cats directly until I finish painting. So that'll be about a week. And once that's done, I will open the door and see what happens. If I need to move him back upstairs, I will, but I'm cautiously optimistic that other than the usual chaos of other cats, things will be okay. We'll see. Writing-wise, this has not been a great week for writing because with people in the house, the obligation to be social is pretty heavy. So now that the mother-in-law is gone, I can get back to doing some writing. I'd only written about 500 words on the next Humanity Unlimited book, but based on something that I'm taking in a class, I'm going to throw those words away and rewrite them because I think I have a better way to start it. And I have some examples of things that I want to do coming up in the story. So it's already preying on my mind and I'm making notes. I'm ready for it.
Okay, cool.
And it's going to be done by the end of the month or my ass is in a sling.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I have to say.
The pressure's on. We'll see how I do it this time.
All right. Under pressure.
I released the Terry Gamut 2 weeks ago or a week and something ago, right at the end of the month. And it's doing very well. It's getting some lower reviews because, well, I made some choices there that probably could have been done better. And that's acceptable. That's can't do them all on the A game, and I definitely could have done that one better. I'm gonna learn from it and move on.
It's pretty much about the way that every book I've written, especially in the Derelict Saga, has gone. I've learned lessons from each book, and I wish I could go back and redo the first book now. So, yeah, but I can't. So it's in stone, just like the first Black book. I would love to go back and rework some sections of that one, but it is what it is. It's out there, and people are reading the series. So, and some people just absolutely adore the book, and adore all of your books. So, a couple of bad reviews. I get them.
Yeah. If it's, we could just look at Jake Bible and see that you can survive as a writer with negative reviews. He's always doing something that's got somebody riled up.
Yeah, I was.
And he does fine.
I was editing Derelict today, and I was God, I'm in the home stretch. I got like 25,000 words left to edit on this monster. And I've been taking my time editing this one because I'm probably looking too closely at the sentences, but I'm fixing some stylistic things I've noticed have crept into my writing, and I just hate them. So I'm trying to go zap them. But I realized how many dams I have all over the place in here.
Are we talking the kind that stop water, or
no,
the kind that commits you to hell?
The kind that commits you to hell or anything else. It's bad. It's basically like, well, we fell out of love with the word fuck and we needed something to put in there. So we're just going to put void dam or whatever else in there to make the statement. And there's too many of them. It's just too many. So, and I actually had to cut some fucks out. There was one really F-bomb heavy chapter and I had to go through and get rid of that. But, there are little things like that in there that I've noticed. But I'm actually enjoying this because I'm enjoying the story and enjoying figuring out the things I need to carry forward and Trident, some of which I'd already forgotten. So it's fun on that end. So I'm getting editing done. I got 10,000 words on Trident done this past week, something like that. So everything's moving. And I outlined the 4th book in the Black series.
Yay!
So I figured out how to do it, and I'm hoping that I can accomplish what I need to set out to accomplish in 100,000 words. Hoping. So, but I know how it's going to end, and I know how book 5 starts, and I'm kind of excited because I think it's really going to screw shit up.
That's what's got you excited?
Yeah, I am actually excited because I can spend about 10,000 words of this book just showing how the black evolves. And without any characters around. Just like 1,000 word snippets of what it's doing while it's evolving. And we'll get to the point where we actually get its first real thought. And that's going to be at the end of the book. Its first real thought.
Well, hopefully it isn't about disco.
No, it's definitely not going to be about disco. But I've been looking at all the for the first book. I looked at all the strange deep sea creatures and everything else, and incorporated that into its form. And this time, I'm like, all right, so what if it's only if this portion of the black that grew was so tiny that it had no network, it had no knowledge, it had only instinct and barest of that. How would it learn to evolve? And what would it become if its primary diet consists of mammals and insects? What's it going to look like?
Yeah, I can see that.
So I'm kind of excited to get to the end of evolution to see exactly what crazy shit is going to come out of that. So it's been an interesting few days for me trying to get through all that stuff, and I'm still fighting with recording and all that crap. So got to get it all done. But once I get destruction done, I have a feeling I'll be much more focused on everything else. So
what about the leaf blower chorus?
They're going to have to just F off, They're just going to have to F off. I'm busy. Go away. I'll record early in the morning and late at night. That's how I'll do that. But it's life. I'll have to deal with it. The leaf blower chorus.
Hey, but you got to admit, that's some good stuff right there.
Oh, yeah. So I figure I want to have Trident ready to go to Severed Press by the time Destruction is published. And since Destruction, after I go through these edits, then it'll be time to, flip them out to the beta readers. I think that's doable. So, because I think probably best case scenario is Destruction gets published in late April or early May. And then we do the book release at Balticon, and then I'll have to choose at the reading. I may read something from Trident. Who knows? So could be fun.
All righty. That sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, so you're dealing with the house. Meanwhile, Paul's recovering from the day job and getting crap done that he should have been doing all along.
Maybe by the end of the month, we'll both be back on track.
I hope so. I'm sick of being so off track. So I got to get that done. One thing, I guess, before we get into today's show is to remind everybody, well, tomorrow is the cutoff. Well, you're getting this tomorrow. I did edit the post on the ideas for the brainstorming episode. I will put together a poll. Y'all will have a week to vote on it, and then we're gonna set up that particular appointment to make that episode happen. So
it's a good thing that you said that you hadn't already set up the poll, because somebody had posted an idea in there and then went, darn, the poll's already out and closed. I missed out.
No, it's not closed yet. I told them I was going to close it today. I just haven't closed it yet. So I will close that today, and then I will put the poll together, but you and I are going to have to go through that.
Not a problem.
So I'll have to paste all that shit in emails and get us to agree on the lesson. Yeah, get us to agree on the matter we're going to put in there. Hang on 1 second. So that's more or less what's going on in our world. That, and we have the live show this weekend for you patrons. So hope you all are planning on showing up.
It'll be fun.
Yep, it will be fun. And see, Terry and I are trying to get all this stuff done for our books, and yet there's always more to be done, isn't there, Terry?
It's never ending.
It's never ending. Well,
you think you've typed the end and you're finished? Oh boy, are you wrong.
Yeah, so get ready to hear us whine.
Open up your thing of list of, we need to have somebody on to talk about this. We need to talk to somebody about what exactly makes a decent author page, how authors can find a service that can do a decent page that minimizes their work, because a lot of authors are not tech people. They don't want to dig into it. And I don't count myself among the tech people anymore. I never really knew that much about WordPress, even though I use it. My site looks like it's from the 90s. And frankly, it's an 80s website. Have you seen my site?
Your site at least looks like what it is, an author page. Mine looks like a train wreck, because you come in there and all you see now, especially since I don't really do normal blog posts anymore, all you see is episode listings. And it doesn't tell you anything about who the fuck I am. So that's a problem. I want
somebody to help build and host web pages that are actually suitable to authors, to where it makes it easy for them to add books as they publish, where people can go to their sites and it interfaces with whatever checkout and shipping modules need to do it. We're, as writers, 99% of us are going to be terrified by anything like that and have no clue. There must be a service out there somewhere to help someone build an author page.
I need to think about that. There are themes out there for that kind of thing. But it's almost like authors, musicians, and artists, we all have the same problems, right? We have the same problems in the sense that there needs to be some kind of identity there, but you need to be able to update it frequently when shit's going on. That's what a CRM is supposed to do. That's what something like WordPress is supposed to do. The problem is that it is, as much as they try to make it point and click, drag and drop, and everything else that goes along there, the templates that come up there half the time don't do what they're supposed to do, as far as letting you do that, and at the same time give yourself the identity you want to follow. Now, there are some out there that are professional templates that'll cost you like, $150, $200. I think they exist out there, and they're probably worth it.
How would we know?
Well, I need to actually try some of this shit to see if it's worthwhile. But I know a bunch of WordPress geeks who are into biz, so to speak, and I think I've done some of the websites or WordPress stuff. Meredith's in there, and so is
This sounds like a cat herding that you need to accomplish.
Yeah, maybe it is a cat herding I need to accomplish.
I know that when I went to my website to update it for the newest publication, getting all the little pieces parts put in place so that I had my front page post about the book, had the preview, had everything all set up, it took me an hour. It shouldn't. It shouldn't have taken me an hour.
Well, yes and no. It depends. It depends how specific you want to get. What you really want is you want to do that once, go through that pain once, and then say, here's the macro, here are the things I need to fill in, and it just does it. That's what you need.
This is true.
That's what you're asking for. I mean, the pain and misery, you should only have to go through it once.
There needs to be a way to make it easier. It's like one of the things that I'm looking at my books now. I went through in Vellum and corrected and added the links for the new book to all of them and regenerated all the Mobi files and uploaded them again. When I get to the point to where I don't have 15 books, but I have 100 books, that's going to be unreasonable.
Yeah. Well,
right now it's on the border of being unreasonable.
Well, at this point, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do what I've done, which is essentially I pimp the series, not the book. Because when you have enough of that go by, then it makes it easier to basically put one synopsis up, to put one thing up with all the different covers. And if they click on that, then they go to the series specific page, which has the books in that series and the back cover copy and everything at each.
Well, the purpose of having a list of actual books, it does serve one, because seeing that list of books, someone can say, oh, I've missed a couple. I need to go buy one. If the list isn't there, then you've run into a problem.
Okay, I can see that too. But the thing is, if you put all those on one page, nobody's going to be able to find the books they haven't read. Because
it's like in a paper book, you open up the thing, you go, oh, author James Peterson, and all the 5,000 people that he has writing for him. Here's the list of the books.
It's exactly
James Patterson.
Fucking luck keeping track of that. It's like they're in their end. To make matters worse, they're coming out every month. So trying to find one it's Herculean. What I'd almost like to do, God, we have just turned this into a business episode right here. What I'd really like to do when I get probably, I don't know, 10 or if I get to the point where I'm putting out 3 books a year, what I want you to do is I want you to go to my splash page and you see those 3 books that year. And then underneath that, these are the new releases by Paul E. Cooley or whatever else. And then below that, you have a drop box, a combo box with years in it. And then they can scroll through that and say, well, what did you put out in 2016? And it goes bang, 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 and it brings up everything. When I get to that number of books.
I'm trying to avoid having to have someone do multiple clicks when they're in the book.
So am I.
Because multiple clicks are bad.
They are. But the thing is, if you have those books up there, all they do is they click at your releases, your new releases or releases of 2018 up there, those 3 or 4 or 5 books, whatever it is. All they got to do is click on there once. And if they want more information about the series, those links should be on that page too.
Amazon needs to get off their dead butt and let us create an also linked page.
Oh God, yes.
Of all of our works that are out under our names, so that we can, anytime we've added a book to that list, it automatically updates our other books to have that list.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to.
Well, that's what
Amazon needs to do.
I'd also say that Amazon needs to allow us to do more with the author pages anyway, because I think that if they want to keep everybody there, okay, which is what they're trying to do, and this is the reason why they give us the tools that they do. If they really wanted to keep everybody on their service, and I hate to say this, but I'm thinking as a software developer, if they really, and marketer or whatever, if they really wanted to keep us at their site, keep the readers at the site, is that basically that author page is not just one page. It is information that they gather that they're just there as normal per se. And then you would have the stuff the author or publisher adds, so that they can look at this, that, and the other and find interviews about Paul E. Cooley or whatever else on there on the Amazon site, rather than having to click a link, go to my site, and then find that shit.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm designing Amazon 2.0 here and fuck.
But in any case, I've about come to the decision that I'm only going to update the other book links in a series when I publish a new book in that series, not everything.
Yeah.
That, at least for now, will keep me to having to only re-upload 8 books in the Empire Saga. 9 books, actually, with the compendium volume. So
here's
how many
really...
is too many? How many is too many? Because it takes time to upload these books. I count publishing day as publishing day because it eats hours and hours of my time to do these things.
Absolutely it does. And it always will. But if Amazon, and they will not do this, as to my knowledge, there is no API for their ebook platform. So I can't, I mean, or if there is one, it's closely guarded somewhere. But it would be really awesome to create a software utility that basically you just click go and it grabs that, puts it, does all that stuff for you. You update one of them, and then it just basically says, oh, I need to copy this cover page or this list page and go through all the books and update it. And then do it all with one touch.
Yeah, as long as it actually then initiated the publication.
That's what I'm saying, though. Do you have the API to actually put the stuff right there?
If it did that, that would be great. With Vellum, it only takes me less than 30 seconds to both change a book and have the new Mobi version for it ready. It's not very, it's pretty quick. So that's not the slow part. The slow part is logging into Amazon, uploading the new book,
finding the file, uploading it, filling out all the bullshit.
Looking at that book to make sure it's the right one, and clicking through a couple of pages to get to publish. That's the problem.
That's why and anytime a human is involved, you're going to fuck it up at least once. If there's a way to automate it so it just happens, the danger being that if you fuck it up in the template file, you've now fucked all your books at once.
Au contraire. Allow me to assure you that if you let something automate it, you're going to have some developer somewhere get something through that is going to fuck not only you, but everybody else as well.
Well, this wouldn't be able to do that because the permissions, you could only do it for one author.
They had an issue on CreateSpace a couple of days ago that you may not have heard about.
Oh, do tell. Now I'm curious. Now I'm attentive.
Where a lot of people that were publishing things at that particular moment in time that had them in review had most of what they had submitted suppressed for copyright violation.
Oh, no.
Because of something that CreateSpace did. I looked at all mine. Mine are all good. You may want to look at all of yours to make sure yours are all good, but I think it only affected people that had something in the review process at that time.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense. It couldn't possibly have gone through their entire catalog. There's no way. But
that's just a hint of how one guy or a team of guys and gals that could go ahead and make what they think is a relatively minor change to something that automates and cause mass chaos.
Mass chaos. How would you like to be the poor Amazon call center person who gets just pummeled by angry publishers and authors who are both confused and furious because now it's impacting possibly their publishing deadlines, that they now have to provide all this information. Their lawyers are on the phone freaking out, a whole 9 yards. How'd you like to be the poor call center person who answers and has to deal with that bullshit?
I'm sorry, Mike. The call connection does not seem to be. Hello? 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 Yes, I wouldn't be working at that call center for long, I'm afraid.
and just imagine how many tech-tart indie authors are just completely melting down over the phone.
The only reason I found out about this is it happened to Philippa Ballantyne and T. Morris. So I happened to see something from them talking about it and did a little looking into it.
Oh, wow. No, I was not aware. I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen
Surprise! Wow. So anytime you have something that Amazon might automate, it may also introduce problems.
Problems.
Just like we could, but their problems could stretch across everyone. In any case, I've got 14 books out now, 14 different books. And I'm starting to hit the wall on how much time I'm willing to spend on updating books on publication day. And I've got to really figure out what my path is going to be going forward, because if it's hard now, it's going to be really hard when I have 50 books.
Again, we'll sit down and we'll talk about how much money you're willing to spend on developing a shortcut.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize this was a business proposition.
I already had, I did something like this way back and I never finished it because I got interrupted, but I said I was doing this probably 3 or 4 years ago. I still have the code somewhere, and it's really not that difficult. It's a little time consuming. And it's going to take forever to QC it. But I put up that I was writing a script to just update that stuff for me in the actual ebook files that I submit up to Amazon. And people were like, I'd pay for that. It's like, give Paul $5 and he'll give you this script. Have a good time.
Vellum needs to come up with an option to have that as a separate page that you update somewhere in the program, and then have you click a button and it goes to all of the books you already have in there and updates those pages,
or if
without you having to do it.
Or if they're recompiled, they go and update themselves.
Yeah. Adding that, this is only a matter for me anyway. I put the link in one place in the book, copy it to another place in the back of the book, and hit generate. It does not take me much time. So that's not the time sink. The time sink is Amazon and uploading the files.
Yeah. I wonder if they have. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at this.
But there's websites, book maintenance. I didn't realize we were going to be talking about these things today. In fact, if this is an episode, we totally missed the moment when we started doing the episode, because we've been into it for about 15 minutes now.
I think you're right. This is one of those where it just kind of went down its merry way.
I apparently touched a nerve with a comment, and now we are doing an episode on this particular subject. What is this particular subject anyway?
I don't know what to even call this. It's just like, these are our bitches and grumps about things that you got to get in the process. But the episode we were going to do, and I guess we are doing right now, is what happens during the book is done, let's get shit going. And here we are, right in the middle,
bitching about that entire
bitching
process.
about that exact thing.
It's easier though than when I was doing this with Word documents.
Oh, fuck yes, absolutely.
Vellum has made this a lot easier, because then I'd have to do the Word document. I'd have to save it as an HTML file, a filtered HTML file. I'd import it into Calibre. I'd generate my EPUB. I'd generate my Mobi file. And then I'd do something. At least Vellum has more than proven the worth of the cost of buying a Mac Mini and buying the program, in that it does all of those things in very short time frames.
Mm.
My print versions would be out a lot faster if my wife didn't insist that she custom do every piece of front matter rather than taking what Vellum has developed for it.
I understand the new version has a fix for the front matter problem.
The front matter problem?
Yeah, where basically you really couldn't do anything to customize it.
Oh, I do remember reading that, but she wants to put things in different order and tweak the exact way that it appears. Now, admittedly, she's done this in InDesign, which she has a copy of. So now that she actually has the template, it doesn't take her very long to generate those PDF pages and then take what Vellum puts out and then put them all together.
Right.
But if I'd have just been using Vellum, the paperback version of the Terra Gambit would be out right now, or at least be in review. It's not yet built. It will probably be built sometime today or tomorrow, depending. But it does add a little bit of time to the process. Luckily, it's not time that I have to spend.
No
Because
kidding.
really, that's what it's boiling down to me as an author. The more books that I put out, the more critical my time becomes. I can't afford to spend days pushing a launch and updating files. I've got to write. I got things to do.
I'm with you. I mean, yesterday, I was dead tired. Oh my God. I shouldn't be talking about this. We haven't done the intro.
Too damn late now. Too damn late now.
I had a moment.
Into this episode, there will be no intro.
Apparently not. Holy shit. Yeah. Hey, listeners. Paul and Terry got goofy and we're both sleep deprived and went crazy. So yeah, here you go. I had this moment yesterday where I was exhausted. I woke up from a nap. Well, I tried to nap. It didn't really happen. I stared at the inside of my eyelids for about an hour, and finally realized I was just completely awake. So why bother trying? Got up and was like, all right, I'm just going to come in, sit down, going to look at some words. And if I feel like it, I'll work on destruction. So I looked at destruction and went, I don't want to do that right now. Something's wrong. So I opened up Trident and I looked at the last couple of paragraphs and was like, no, that's not right. And fix that, fix this, fix that, fix this. And then I started writing, deleted that paragraph that was the last paragraph that was there. And the next thing I knew, Carrie was calling me going, are you meeting me for dinner or what? And, 45 minutes had passed and I'd written 1,300 words, whatever. And then last night I was dead exhausted and wanted to go to bed. And I was just like, I'll come in and take a look at what I wrote today. And next thing I know, it's another 800 words. That was 2 hours I should have been spending on destruction, because that book is done. It's just not done. And I didn't want to do it because it's just so fucking frustrating when you've got a book in your head ready to rock and roll and shit keeps getting in the way. And it makes everything feel like a chore, because you break out of this mental stasis. You've been on your creative works because of other things and because you've been trying to get this other stuff done, which needs to get done. But the book is talking to you. The narrator is saying things. All the characters are screaming to tell you about the horrible things that you're about to do to them. And it just needs to fucking happen. It is so frustrating to have to stop and actually do work. And it's because the work, these pieces could be done by somebody else, which is why authors frequently have editors.
There are things that editors can do and things that editors cannot do.
Absolutely. But they can certainly help you spot something. And then, I mean, and seriously, this is the second draft that I'm going through now. So I'm making changes and everything else. So it's not, I couldn't just hand this off to somebody at this point. But I know once I get this done, it's like I'm like it's going to be time to just give it to the beta readers and see if they can find inconsistencies and whatnot.
Sometimes beta readers can help out in that, and sometimes beta readers don't.
Yeah, I know.
I found that out when I was rereading Tree of Liberty, so I would have my plot notes going into Blood of Patriots, which I started writing yesterday. And I found a spot at the end of the book where the main character met up with somebody that he knew in the past, whom he had also met up with earlier in the book, and acted as if he had never met the man in years. And so that got past everybody.
Yep.
In the entire process, that I'll have to go ahead and fix it.
I think I actually started talking about this when your internet cut out. I can't even remember now.
That's entirely possible.
Anyway, with there are little things like that, and even editors, professional editors, miss those moments too. So this is why the second draft is there. This is why, even after I finish the second draft, I'm probably going to hand it off to Alpha Reader again, say, do your thing, and then I'll work on Trident. And as soon as that's done, then I'll probably just throw it I'll do the production on it to get it in ebook form, throw it to the patrons and say, eat.
Here's what I've been doing with my post-production. As I was writing the book, I've been using Dragon Naturally Speaking. So that introduces an additional layer of errors that spell check is not going to find.
Yeah.
And I've been trying Dean Wesley Smith's idea of cycling, where you write a little bit and then you go back and reread it and then pick up your writing again. That just totally destroyed any rhythm that I had. Maybe it would work for some people. It does not work for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to modify that. This book, Blood of Patriots, I'm going to just read it all the way through. When I'm done, I'll go back to the beginning and I'll go through it and I'll find all of the dragon introduced errors along with changing things to fix the continuity that I made mistakes in, that I can spot anyway.
Yeah.
Then it's going to go out to the beta readers.
Okay. Well, we're constantly changing our processes because we're not happy with any of them. So again, this goes back to the whole, try it. If what's working for you, if what you're doing is working for you, don't change it. If it's not working, try something else. It may work worse, but the bottom line is you'll know, okay, well, this other process doesn't seem so bad now.
Mm-hmm. And once the work comes back from the beta readers, at this point, I'm doing things backwards here because I want to get these books out sooner. I'll get the book back from the beta readers and I publish it. And the same day, I send it off to the editors for copy editing, not copy editing, but proofreading.
Right.
To find the other little minor things that got left there. Realistically, I should be doing that before I publish, but I want to build up a little momentum first.
Yeah.
It's been too long. It's been too long since I published things. I want to get a couple of books out sooner rather than later, but I'm eventually going to move that proofreading stage into before publication. And I guess that should bring in the comparisons between copy editing and proofreading.
Here we go. Now we're back into the what happens after the book is done.
Yes, here we are.
Circled all the way around through all this bullshit to finally get back to what we wanted to talk about in the first place.
I think this is all what we wanted to talk about.
I think
we just
you're right.
Didn't know we want to talk about it because this still our house open. Rah!
Yeah, this
went
is
on a
bitch
rant.
This is what this is. it's we're just going to be complaining the entire time. It's going to be bad news.
Speaking of minions,
uh-oh,
some writers have minions. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
some writers have actually hired minions and pay them to do segments of what they need to have done.
Yep.
I hesitate to mention this, but I have a minion.
You have a minion? Who's your minion?
I'm not saying.
You're not saying.
Not yet. I'm keeping that information secret.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, when we were talking about this, the book publishing thing with the scripts, updating all your links, that was, and the same thing with the WordPress stuff. It's like, yes, you need minions, trustworthy minions.
To be clear, what's going on right now is somebody that is interested in potentially developing a sideline in their own life of helping authors create their own story Bibles is working with me, and we're going through my books one by one, which I'm paying for, to make happen, to create a story Bible for all the stuff that I failed as an author to create a story Bible for. So this person is getting paid, they're building experience, and because I'm a greedy SOP, until I get further caught up along, I don't want to disrupt the whole process because it's moving along pretty damn smoothly. But in a couple of months, I'm going to be taking in and promoting this person's work at doing this as well, because they're doing a great job. And if you've written a bunch of books and suddenly decide, I really should probably know about all those things that happened way back when, then I think that something could be arranged. I know that Michael Cooper is where I got the idea of having someone do that. And so he and other people are already doing things along those lines.
Now, I was told the difference between a minion and a contract employee is whether or not you pay them.
Okay, then this may be a contract employee.
So that's not really a minion.
Okay. Money is exchanging hands on a per book basis.
Minions don't get paid. If you think that, you haven't watched the right animated television shows.
Apparently not. But having a team of people that can do things that take load off is worthwhile if you can justify the expense.
Yeah, and that goes with everything. That goes with everything. And you have to remember you get what you pay for too. So
the cover work, if I didn't have Donna doing the covers, I would have to have somebody else doing the covers. I have to have an editor doing the proofreading when it's all said and done. I have to have somebody now help me catch up on my story Bible. I'm sure there are other things that I probably should be having done, but I'm lacking that. Maybe I should pay somebody to maintain my damn website and update it.
I'm certainly considering it. It's just
my website is in the 80s.
Yeah, but for all this bitching and complaining, I know we're in lucky positions because we have audiences, we have books out. We're kind of in different positions than most folks. We're along the lines where we do have to have a story Bible. We're so far ahead in that realm that we can bitch about these things, and the fact that we should have done them to begin with. And I think the reason why they don't get done with it to begin with is people don't know they're creating a universe half the time. And that's why this shit doesn't work. That's why I didn't keep a Bible for the Black. That's why I didn't keep one for Arrival. I'm like, well, okay, there's gonna be a third Black book, but I already know all this stuff, so I didn't really keep one.
Right there, you have just touched upon the reason that most people should be doing story Bibles. When I started writing Empire of Bones, I've got this all in my head. I got it covered. Book 2, still good shape. Book 3, we're okay. Book 4.
Yeah, exactly.
My brain exploded, and then I couldn't keep track of anything.
See, I can still remember the differences in behavior and appearance traits between those 3 books of the Black, what it did and what I showed the reader. I can remember almost all of it. But book 4, I have to integrate all that goddamn information. Because
once you have a certain number of books, you're going to lose control of memory of detail in your head. You can no longer keep it all in your mind. I can guarantee when I was rereading Tree of Liberty, I'm reading through here going, oh, wait, there's a plot point that I should take forward. Totally gone. Didn't remember it at all. It's like, I guess that's kind of important. Maybe I should make a note of that I should, do something about that.
Oh, I know and you may be getting, well, yeah, we talked about this. You're not quite to that point yet, but you're getting close. The cast of characters.
Oh, that's another issue. Yeah.
That's not really a bad thing for me in Derelict because we really don't have many yet. We're going to get more in Trident. Finally, we're not going to be stuck with the same 13 assholes. We're actually going to be able to encounter other human beings, which is exciting to me. And but the bottom line is now it's been long enough between the 3 books that people are going to not remember who these folks are. And when I write the 4th Black book, it is going to have a cast of characters from all 3 different books, first 3 books. And for Outbreak, that's a big list. So it's just going to be kind of rough, but it's going to have to get done. So I'll probably go back and see what I can do, and then hire a minion to go back and hire a minion, coax a minion, coax a minion to go back and reread or re-listen to the books. So it's going to have to happen. So you may apply at paul@shadowpublications.com.
Things get complicated once you start going past a certain number of works.
It just does. And, again, the most important thing about, giving writing advice in general is this is our experience. And
yours may be different.
And these are the things we wish we had done. And we're telling you now, you're going to wish you had done them too.
Of course, you may do other things that are more of a pain in your ass than what we've discovered. And we're probably forgetting some pain in the ass detail. Like for the fact, I don't have a checklist for publication. So every time I publish something, it's like, oh, yeah, that thing. I need to do that thing. Oh, what about that thing? I really should make a checklist.
I should have a checklist for the podcasts and follow it religiously. The thing is, I've been doing this for so damn long, it's almost automatic. It just happens. But yeah, if you're only doing this once every 3 months, you're gonna forget how to do it. So yeah, and write that shit down, exactly what the process is, and go back and look at it and until it becomes automatic.
Even when it becomes automatic, having a checklist to reference is not a bad thing, because if you do something, you may become overconfident and inadvertently be distracted and skip a step.
Yeah, that's the other issue. If I'm going through that process of getting that stuff up, I don't let anything interrupt it. I don't care if the world's ending. I'm not going to stop doing that because it's easy to screw it up. Yeah, if you forget a step, or at least screw up your publishing schedule if you forget a step and think you actually did it. That can really come back and bite you in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to keep in mind.
Man, we're curmudgeons.
We're not curmudgeons. We've just been through it so much that we're cynical and jaded.
Yeah, that's us.
Yes, that's us completely. So we covered the editing. We covered the ebook publishing side a little bit. We sort of touched on that. What else is there to do besides you need to file if you want to file copyright documents with the Library of Congress, which I do.
Which I do as well.
And that's something you do want to do, folks. It can be a pain in the ass, but actually it looks like a pain in the ass, but actually it's pretty fast to do.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part is creating an account the first time. but the bottom line is you do want to do that. You want to make sure you've got the right graphics size for your graphics ready. If you're doing audiobook, you're going to want a 300 by 300 preview, I think, for Audible. Or whatever size it is. I can't remember. There's 2 sizes you got to worry about.
They want 1200 by 1200.
1200 by 1200. There we go. I use 300 by 300 for the podcast. Yeah, 1200 by 1200, whatever it is. You want to have that ready to go. You want to have and make sure you get that from your designer if you don't know how to do it. And then you're going to want to have the high res version of your book cover ready. If you're going, wherever. There's all these different things you have to do to publish the book.
Going back to filing for copyright, let me throw in, if you have a small press that just publishes yourself or perhaps someone else and you don't have it trademarked, fix that. Get it trademarked. Do you have Shadow Publications trademarked?
Nope.
Ooh. So what happens when somebody else comes along and says, no, I am Shadow Publications?
Well, because I'm shadowpublications.com.
You may have the address, the web address, but they could dispute your ownership of the name of your press and force you legally to change it.
Well, then it would just be SP Press.
I understand. But rather than being forced to change what you've created, you should take the time to go ahead and file for a trademark on your press name.
Yeah, probably. I probably do.
It's not very expensive. Here's the deal. My wife went ahead and did this through LegalZoom. They had an attorney help her figure out all the specific parts that had to be done and take her through that complex process. So that made it a lot easier. And now we've got our trademark sitting in a lockbox. So we're safe.
Okay.
So if you've never thought of that, you should think of that and you should make it happen.
Mm. See, I thought you were going to say trademark the name of the book. I was like, what? Huh?
No, that's not where I'm going at all. You could
trademark
if it was not something common. I couldn't get away with trademarking the Empire of Bones saga because there's too many other Empire of Bones books.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that Michael Cooper has trademarked his series name because he calls it Aeon 14. Okay. Nothing like that out there. He's trademarked his series name.
I can probably trademark Soul and Beyond. Probably.
It's possible.
I have to look into that. something to do.
But in any case, protect your business by trademarking your business entity.
Yeah.
And if the copyright information submission is something that's intimidating for you, LegalZoom also assists with that, and you can have them help you the first time through, and that way you know what has to be done with a professional guiding your moves.
Yeah. Very true.
So that's my recommendation on those two things.
Okay. Good to know.
Covers. Oh, covers. Let me run you through the cover process that I go through.
First off, before we even go into this, start the cover process early.
Oh, yes.
Early. Like,
oh, yes.
You're halfway through the book.
Especially if you're having someone else do it.
That's what I'm saying. If you were hiring somebody to do this, start early.
Maybe visualize what it might look like before you even start the book. Start a conversation with your chosen artist to get it into their schedule and start getting the details done. Now, I kind of have the opposite sort of thing working with my wife making the covers.
It's all just-in-time cover design.
It's pretty much just-in-time cover design. So she pretty much starts the cover when I've finished the book. And we'll go through and I'll tell her vaguely what I want, and she'll go work out something on the screen. And then, because I haven't given her enough detail, she'll go ahead and add elements that I never even considered being in there. So I'll come back and go, wow, that's nice. Let's take this out, and let's take this out, and let's move this over here, and let's do this. And then she gives me the look and posts on Facebook about authors are pains in my ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, Donna, you could always bite the bullet and farm it out to somebody else.
She likes doing it.
Well,
she likes complaining about it as well. So,
in the words of the immortal Red Fox, she needs to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. By the way, the reference for that was Bill Cosby was giving Eddie Murphy shit about being a foul-mouthed jerk, and he complained to Red Fox about it, and Red Fox told him to tell Bill Cosby to have a Coke and shut the fuck up. And that was at the time when Bill Cosby in the 80s was doing all these Coca-Cola and Jell-O commercials.
Are you making money off your show? Are you getting people to laugh? Then tell Bill Cosby to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. I can hear Red Fox saying that too.
Yes, so can I. So can I. If you don't know who Red Fox is, wow. Do a Google search.
Elizabeth, it's coming. I'm coming.
Go look up some Sanford and Son. Watch that crazy shit. Yeah, there were rather risque sitcoms even in the late 70s and early 80s. Trust me.
Yeah. But back to your cover there. Even at the last minute of having my covers done, she'll send me the final, and I'll put it out for commentary, and it still might not be the end because people will comment back, because I'll put it up in the Dead Robots forum on Facebook, the Dead Robots group, and people will make commentary about it. 2/3 of the commentary, I go, yep, I see what you're saying. Don't do it. Doesn't fit my vision of what I want for the thing there. Some of the commentary is actually makes me think, maybe that would be better this way. And then I'll talk with her and we'll make some tweaks to make some of that happen.
Yeah, I think it and even with Sever Press, I usually when I finish the book, and I haven't done that for Destruction yet, and I need to, I will send them, hey, I'm getting ready to finish this book. Here's the synopsis for it. Do you want it? Number one. And the answer has been universally yes. Give it now. Hey, I'm ready to have cover discussions. And then it will just be like, okay, well, you, the author, what do you see? What do you want this book cover to look like? And, or what do you think you want on this? And then basically I have to say, first of all, it needs to have the Derelict Saga on it, because if you don't tell them, don't remind them, they won't put it there, because that's just the nature of the beast. So you, the author, have some responsibility here to follow that through the cover process, which is why I think Terry Goodkind is full of shit.
I saw that. Oh, man.
What an asshole. So yeah, go look up that writing kerfluffle. It's all over the place. And don't do that. Anyway, you have to check things. You have to, bird dog it. You have to look at it. You have to do some of your own research about what books like that are selling in the market. And you just have to. You have to go look at these things and make your decisions on that. And if the publisher's asking for your input, double check their sanity. But if they have a marketing department, chances are they know better than you what they're doing.
Ooh, I am going to immediately hold up a red flag.
I said chances are.
You can never trust that.
Again, caveat emptor. I'm simply saying that you need to think about their advice or what they're thinking about doing, and you really think about it before saying you're fucking crazy.
There was a growing kerfluffle in traditional publishing talking about covers in the last couple of months. And it used to be that they had salespeople that knew about the books that would help interface with the cover artist to go ahead and make sure that fit in there. That's not happening anymore. Their marketing departments, they are geared towards selling to bookstores.
This is true. This is true.
So you've got to be really, really careful. If you're working with a press of some kind, if it's a small press, you may have something to that they may know the market a little bit, and they may be doing something with it.
Especially if
you still have to ask questions. You still have to make sure that you're on top of the ball. But if you're in traditional publishing, you're getting whatever some intern decided is okay for your book.
Especially if you're a mid-lister. And that's the deal. I think you have to do more work as a mid-lister. You have to do more work as a small press. You have to do more work as an indie, because you don't have that huge cadre of people.
As an indie, one of the things that I like is that when I make a terrible error in designing a cover, I can fix it.
And it's yours. You screwed it up.
Well, sometimes, let me give you a marketing related snafu that I did with a book. When I published the sequel to Liberty Station, my wife decided, with my agreement, to go ahead and build a cover based around basically what amounts to stargates, going from one location to another. So she had a spacesuited figure in a tunnel stepping out onto a sunny lit beach.
Right.
And it was a beautiful cover. Sales plummeted because it didn't have a spaceship on the cover.
Of course.
Marketing.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful cover that was a complete marketing fail. So out it came. Sales have improved. Lesson learned. There really is a reason for paying attention to what the top 100 are selling and looking for commonalities between them. You may go, oh, but I've got this other idea that involves, showing somebody trimming their toenails. No, if it does not fit your genre and it's not something that's there, you are taking a huge marketing risk. All a book cover is doing, it's not reflecting a specific event inside your book. It's not reflecting a specific character inside your book. Although there are authors that have built a brand around doing exactly that, they are the outliers. If you are not having success with doing something like that already, I mean, sure, try it, see what happens. But your cover is a sales tool. It's something that has to show this is a book from X genre. Like mine now show, hey, this is spaceships. This must be science fiction. Hey, look, they're fighting. That's probably military science fiction. Yeah. Or space opera or something like that. And that'll catch a certain brand of folk to go ahead and click that little icon and say, what's this book about? Yeah. All the cover is to lure someone in to see what this book is about.
And it doesn't have to be representative of what happens in the story.
It doesn't. If you try to make the cover exactly reflect a scene that's in your book, you're going to drive create a cover that does not sell as well as it could. It's your best bet to pick something, even if the events on the cover do not happen in your book. People will forgive that. They won't even notice it.
No, especially if they're in a series. If they bought book 1 and book 2 wasn't like a complete disaster, it doesn't matter what the cover has on it. They're going to buy it. I would say 9 times out of 10. If they're not in the series and they're looking at the series as possibly getting into it, then the first couple of books better have good covers, because you want to draw new people in.
I was not so sure about that. So I've submitted a couple of short stories to be copy edited and other ones to be proofread, and looked at the output. Now I am less sure that he was wrong.
Oh, no.
I got what I needed out of both, but they were very similar. And even the descriptions on editors' pages of what is copy editing and what is proofreading are all very vague about what the differences are between them. What are you getting if you do copy editing rather than proofreading? What extra thing makes that worth the difference in cost?
An actual human being is reading it as opposed to just running spell check.
Oh, I can assure you from all the commas that are moved around in mine, there's a human being looking at it.
Yeah, they're using
99% of what I'll say 95% of proofreading and copy editing stuff that comes back is hyphens and commas. That's what happens to me. Sometimes there'll be a word change. Sometimes there'll be a comment going, you should do this way because this is the standard.
Right. Yeah.
Which half the time I ignore it, and then I think about it, and then I go back and go, gosh, I'm gonna have to change it because I guess that's right. Shit like that.
The editing I get from Sue is much more detailed than just that. There are questions, there are comments about you probably need to cut this, things like that. This isn't explained well. I don't see this. Go back, go. That's
what
different.
level of editing are you getting though?
Wow. With her,
because that sounds like line editing. That sounds like above copy editing.
Yeah, it's above copy editing.
So I'm that I know I've gotten line editing before, and that does indeed have all of that information. I'm only specifically comparing copy editing and proofreading.
Yeah.
They are vaguely related to one another, and it's all, the man behind the curtain. You don't know what's really going on there.
The benefit and curse of working with Sue for all these years is she knows all of my works. The benefit is that it's easier for her to spot something that doesn't fit that atmosphere of that series, or that's not something that character would say. The curse is
the same things.
It's the same thing. So it's a double-edged sword, because somebody who doesn't know the series, doesn't know the books, doesn't really know the characters from the previous stuff. Say if you got an editor taking over book 4 and they didn't read books 1 through 3, they'd never heard of you before. All you did was establish a professional relationship. Then they're not going to have the same thoughts, or they're not going to have the same read of what you're doing. And I guess this is why so many writers that I talked to back in before the indie media stuff, and even before the internet was there for the average person, that they either fell in love with an editor or they didn't. And that the editors were the same way with them. And they didn't want to edit a writer that they didn't fall in love with their work. So it was this interesting symbiotic relationship between the two. And you'll talk to some of these authors who had these long relationships with editors, and they will tell you that they were their best friends and their worst enemies. But it was a relationship that worked because they were both in it for the same thing, which was to make the book the best it could be. Mm-hmm. So Terry, what is the most important part of this process in your mind?
Does it have to have a most important part?
Is there, okay, let me rephrase. Is there a part of the process that is much more easy to flub than it is to get right?
I'll again say just about any part of it. You can screw up anything in this. There is no limitation on where you can fuck up. So let's see. Hang on. Let me think if I could think of an example here. Well, hypothetically, it's entirely possible that an author could send the wrong version of a book to be copy edited to a publisher.
That never happens. That has never happened in the annals of history.
You could do everything from when you're uploading the book, using the wrong cover, uploading the wrong book.
Yes.
The sky is the limit for your screw ups. Allow me to suggest something that I need but don't have. A checklist.
Yes, checklist. Yeah, very helpful. So do that. If nothing else, please, please, please do that. Especially if you're a first timer. Make sure you have all the steps figured out and, you know, written down that you need to take care of. Make sure you get all that. All right. Well, I guess we should probably wrap this mess up. So if you would like to chastise us for our description and bitching and everything else, you can send us an email to show@debrobotssociety.com. You can tweet us at Paul_E_Cooley, or you can join the listeners of listeners of the Dead Robot Society Facebook group, where we have a ton of action and interaction going on all the time, and advice traded, and occasionally some memes are posted there. That's all I'll say about that. We'd love to have you. We have to give a shout out to our wonderful host, Pod Hoster, who makes all 500 bazillion episodes available. You can find us at debrobotssociety.com, as I should have said earlier. You can also find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DRS podcast if you want to see our ugly mugs. And you can also find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you will get access to exclusive content and live shows and all sorts of other nonsense that we do. And yeah, give it a shot. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, Terry.
Thanks for joining me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the whole host thing, but I hosted this one.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
Okay. On that note, we're going to get out of here.
Wait.
What?
We have not done the patrons' names.
Oh, shit.
We can't run away without doing the patrons' names.
I don't know why I've thought that.
You need a checklist.
Yes, I do need a checklist. You need one too.
I do.
Your problem is you need to check off those items as I'm doing them, because you frequently say you didn't do that when I did. Or you just need to listen. That helps.
You know, if I'm going to judge somebody, I should probably at least listen to them, right?
You should at least make sure you know what the hell you're talking about anyway.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
And if you sponsor us at the $10 and above level at patreon.com/DRS podcast, we have the pleasure of reading your names however you write them that week. And our $10 patrons are Robert Slade, Devin Lee, Caleb James. Caleb, this is the second week in a row you haven't changed your name. I'm very upset with you. The one, the only Nathan Petty, Drew, it's Terry's Fault Bernardi, John Kilgallet, Chris, Toyboat, you bastard, Winder, Isabel Cushy, Andre Conde Moraes, DJ Chamberlain, Jonathan Zarusin, and J.R. Handley. So thank you very much, folks. And thank you to all guys. The patrons. Now, let's get out of here one more time. Bye.
Bye-bye.